Welcome back to Gruesome Magazine. Tonight we're reviewing The Yeti, which will be released in AMC Theaters on April 4th and April 8th. And then it'll be on digital April 10th from Well Go USA.
Gruesome Magazine.
With me tonight is my co-host Paul Cardulo. How you doing, Paul?
Doing pretty good, Doc. How about you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. I'm looking forward to talking about this. We love a creature feature. And matter of fact, you love Yeti films. I found
Yeti
that out with this.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch, any of the cryptids, they're great. They're fun.
Yep. What we're going to do is dive into a review of this. We're just going to give you what our first thoughts were, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then we'll end it with our score 1-5. And before we do that, we would like to invite you to like and subscribe, because every click helps us find another horror fan just like you. All right, let's get into this. First things first. It is The Yeti, directed by and written by Gene Gallerano and William Pisciotta. I can't pronounce names, but the cast includes Bittany Allen, Eric Nelson, Jim Cummings, Christina Bennett, Link Hand, with William Sadler and Corbin Bernsen. The synopsis is Merriell Sunday Sr. and Hollis Bannister vanish in Alaska. Ellie and Merriell Jr. mount a search. But the ancient threat stalks their expedition into the wilderness, hunting them as they seek the truth behind the disappearances, which is pretty accurate.
Yeah, pretty accurate. I think it's a good synopsis.
All right. If I could speak fluently, it would have worked. All right. Let's find out what our first impressions were. Paul, what did you think of The Yeti?
Well, my first impression, because like I said, I love a good creature feature, I love Yeti, and the beginning, I really enjoyed the beginning of it. It really felt almost kind of pulpy, and really enjoying that. And then about halfway through, the plot kind of kicks in. They throw a lot of extra plot in, and it just kind of it stutters and stumbles a bit. I mean, there's still some great stuff in there, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, it kind of stumbled in that second half, unfortunately for me. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not too different. I was really enjoying it, because it was basically it was also kind of fun and jovial. It wasn't taking itself seriously at first, and which was really fun. There's like an introduction to characters that's really fun, and then there basically becomes, like you said, an adventure. They're out to find these missing people and solve a mystery. But then once they actually get to solving the mystery, it just comes to an unfortunately screeching halt, and it just buries us in exposition and explanations and confusion. I was really confused about what was happening at times and who people were at times. There's one time I got real confused about a person they find in a room or in the cabin. And I think that makes it doubly disappointing, is because it was on such a good trajectory and then stumbled and fell on its face.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. However, there's a lot to really like about this movie.
Oh yeah.
But it's what is the saying? Less than the sum of its parts. The whole is less than some of its parts.
Unfortunately,
and that's unfortunately what happens. But let's get into that. Let's explain what we mean.
Well, like the first part, like I said, is very pulpy. I don't know if you ever read any of the old pulp fiction from the early 20th century, and it reminded me of almost a little bit like Doc Savage. I don't know if you've ever read any of those, because when they introduce the character, you said they introduce them like with a newsreel, and it's really fun because they each are kind of like, and this is this person, and it's really got this fun vibe to it. Like you said, it doesn't take itself seriously. I mean, it's not a high budget picture, but they really good gore, and the creature effects are great. And it's like that's fine because you're like this is fun. It's very kind of and it's got this fun. It doesn't take itself seriously, and then yeah, like you said, halfway point plot kicks in, and I think for me it was like character motivations. Like why is that character doing that? That makes no sense. And why is this character that makes no sense? And like it's not that they don't explain it. It's just it doesn't. It's like huh.
Doesn't that
No,
up? Doesn't that up?
it doesn't add up, which is a shame because then the second half you do get. I mean they do like a lot with the creature effects is nice because they do that kind of Jaws thing where you see a little bit of it, you see a little bit of it, you see a little more, and then you get like the big more full reveal towards the end. And it's a cool suit, it's a practical suit, and I'm sure they did several different things with it. And it looked cool, but yeah, unfortunately it's undone. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I think another thing that was really good about it was the cinematography.
Oh yeah.
It looked really good. It looked absolutely professional. The cinematography is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Lighting is fantastic. And they they're in the dark, but you can see things. They handle that because that's a hard thing to get right, and they did.
Oh yeah.
And it's really quite brilliant, I thought. And I thought the direction was really strong. Where I think it falters is the later half is the script. The script kind of it needed more show and less tell. There was a lot of things that we needed to see but didn't, and that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Sorry about the cough. And then and the editing was a little jumpy at times.
Yeah.
And it caught me off guard. But man, I absolutely dug the creature suit. It really it did look cool. And like you said, it shows a little bit of first shadows and claws and stuff. And they handled that really well. And even feet and it does the stereotypical thing
footprint and stuff. Yeah,
they hand the footprint, but it really worked. And it pays off at the end. I would have loved more, actually, a little bit more. But yeah, man, I really wanted to love this more. I really wanted to dig this movie.
Oh, another thing that we both kind of noticed was the hair, the makeup, the costuming and set design they nailed like the period because it's like late 40s, late 1940s. I mean, even to the point where like the person's wearing headphones. Have you ever seen those old headphones where they've got like the cloth around the wire and things like that? I mean, they really nailed all that, and it was such. The tone was very fun. That's the other thing is that you have this great, and I'm okay with films that switch tone, but it didn't feel like they did it intentionally. It just sort of felt like it got dropped. And so it wasn't like an intentional, ooh, we're going to switch it up to this. It was just like, it just kind of became self-serious. I think that was the.
I mean, in the end, I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
But I did walk away frustrated.
Yeah.
I did but the cast is strong.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got tons of people in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I especially liked Bittany Allen, who is the lead.
Oh yeah, she does great.
And she carries the film for a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then there's one guy who has a mask for half his face. Which was a war wound and stuff, and that was really effective.
It was cool.
Way. Yeah,
it was very unsettling, but in terms of it was excellent. But
yeah, and the scenery is cool because it was the frozen Alaska, and there was always had snow and either falling from the sky or on the ground. It changed a little bit, but. Which also led some frustration about, are you wearing enough to be in this?
Well, I think those. I mean, that's kind of I mean, it's also just it is lower budget wise, so it looks like it's almost primarily on a set most of the time, but it looks good and it looks because that fit with the pulpy nature of it to me. Yeah. And so you didn't want to get all gritty and serious because it didn't fit with this kind of the pulpy nature of it. But But yeah, it was like, wait a second, okay, if they're in Alaska and it's winter because it's dark, significantly portion of the time. It's like I was sitting there going, well, are they below the Arctic Circle? Because if they are, there'd be some light. I'm like, okay,
I
too much
know.
of an answer. And I was like, but again, yeah, there's sometimes it's like, okay, it's really cold out and you're not wearing enough. But,
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think that was we were getting picky at that point because we were getting
We
frustrated.
had time to. That was important.
Yes,
We had time. It kind of
yeah,
it slogged a little bit for a point, and you started digging things. Of course, you've been in Alaska. You spent time in Alaska in your youth, and so
yeah.
you know about all these things. Like, to me, I wouldn't have thought any different. I was questioning that. Don't you need at least a coat? But but I wouldn't. But if it caught my attention and really grabbed me, I wouldn't have even noticed that. All right,
Right, and I
maybe
mean, I don't think we noticed it till that halfway point. We were
right,
just like, "Oh, this is fine. It's fun. It's this lighthearted, it's a not lighthearted because it's gory. I mean, I don't think we mentioned that. There's some really nice and good gore, and they do some really cool stuff. It's fun, um, and it's all practical. It looks like it's all practical effects, which is really great. So I mean, there's all that, but it was fun, like I said, in a very much a pulpy way,
yeah.
in a good, and that's a good thing.
I
That's
wish
a
they could have kept that tone for the latter half. It would have been so
yeah.
much more satisfying. All right. Well, I think we've done enough. I think you've gotten the idea that we love hate this movie.
I don't know. I wouldn't say love hate. I would
Well,
hate might be a little strong.
yeah, I agree. It's just the phrase, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know,
Um,
Shane.
but let's go ahead and give a score, which we haven't discussed between us, so I don't know where we're
No,
going
we
with it.
haven't.
What is your
I,
score, 1 to 5, for the Yeti?
I mean, I'm going back and forth with it because I really did like the whole first part of it, and there's a charm to the first part, and I like the practical effects. So you know, and so yeah, I mean, this is hard. Um, I mean, I'm going to give it screw it. I'll give it a 3. I was trying to get it between. I was thinking 2.75 to 3 because I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed the work that was put into it, the craft. The whole first half of it was really good. Again, that it was that second half where it stumbled. I know. I was like that. I'm going to say 3. I think it might be a little high. I have a feeling you might be a little bit lower than that, but I that's all right. That's what I mean. But again, I was on the fence, but I'm gonna give it a little nudge up, and so that way that balances out if you give it a little nudge down, I guess.
Yeah, mine's 2.5. Two and a half.
Okay, well, it's not
And
bad. I was thinking about 2.75, so
yeah,
yeah,
and I mean, I think it deserves it because because there's scales, right? There's so much to enjoy, but yet
yeah,
work as a whole. But there's enough to enjoy to watch it. Um, uh, but you might get frustrated.
yeah. No, I think that's good. I think that
I'm real excited about what this team does next because I mean, they have talent. They just need to get
Oh yeah,
the scripting maybe one more polish, please.
yeah. I mean,
Because you really got, oh my gosh, there's so much good stuff.
well, I had a feeling part of it is there were two larger names. We've got Corbin Bernsen and William Sadler, and I think trying to fit them and give them some more meatier bits. I guess I don't know. Maybe that was why. And
Speculation. Who knows?
that's speculation, but but I think that might have been what That's my head canon as to why it got derailed.
Yep. All right. Well, that's our review for the Yeti. Check it out in AMC Theaters on the 4th and the 8th of April. That's really cool. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
And then it'll be on digital April 10th. So check that out. Paul, thank you so much for hanging out with me and doing this. It was a fun time.
Oh yeah. Thanks for having me. It's always a blast.
All right. Let's say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.